Peace. I'm your brother Crumb, and you are now watching Crumb TV.
Hey, you are now watching Crumb TV.
Crumb TV.
Hey, we in Chicago, y'all, and y'all watching Crumb TV.
It's your brother, Timbuktu. I say.
You are now watching Crumb TV.
You in Chi-Town finest, you hear me? Inglewood, always up to no good.
Man, I'm telling my brother Crumb.
You're watching Crumb TV.
I'm your humble brother, and you are watching Crumb TV. Reporting live from the Wild Hunter Southside Chicago.
And you now watching Crumb TV.
And you're watching Crumb TV.
Crumb TV, baby. Hey.
Crumb TV.
What up? What up? What up? The minister is going to be back with us in 2 milliseconds. Milliseconds, family. He'll be back in 2 milliseconds. I was actually surprised he dropped off right there. He was just with me. But yeah, with that said, aliens, elections, and Epstien. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Yes, minister, aliens, elections, and Epstien. Before we get into all of that, I wanted to ask, how are you?
All is well, brother. How you feeling?
Man, I am feeling really, really good, really exciting. Supposedly, allegedly, it's 2024, and we are off to a incredible start.
Well, it's to be expected. You know what I'm saying? But you mentioned 2024. I'm actually wondering what year is it in Ethiopia right now? Ethiopia is like 7 years behind us.
Let me
They're actually on the correct calendar, or they're on the Justinian calendar. We're on the Gregorian calendar. So I was just out of curiosity, I was wondering, like, what's the date there in Ethiopia?
What is the date in Ethiopia?
The year, rather. I'm sorry.
The year, absolutely. We are 7 years behind Ethiopia.
I wonder why 7. But
right,
okay.
right. 7 is a powerful number.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 2024. So that makes it
2014.
2014. Wow, good on your math.
If we can go back. Okay, so look right here. See right here what it says. The causes of the Ethiopian year number to be 8 years less than the Gregorian calendar number, January 1st until 10th, or 11th September 11th. Here we go. Then the 7 years less than the remainder of the Gregorian calendar, because they're on what's called the Justinian calendar. They're not on the Gregorian calendar. Okay, I just want to make sure, see what time it was. But yeah, 2024, man, is kicking off to be a great year. If you are a 10-4 hat wearing conspiracy theorists like myself, we're just sitting back. We're just sitting back and just watching people. Call us and email us now and text us like, "Oh, you were right." Like, motherfucker, I know I was right. I was right 7 years ago.
Right.
Shout out to the today broadcast, ladies and gentlemen, has been brought to you by number 7.
Right. Before we get into it, Minister, I know we are on your YouTube channel. We have a lot of disciples in the building. Do you mind if we recognize some of the family?
Let's do it.
Okay, so there's a lot of faces I haven't seen in a while, or I just don't recognize at all. This is one of them. I'm glad to see you, Hisoka. If I pronounce that wrong, charge it to my mind and not charge it to my mind and not my heart. It says, "Hey, let's get it." I see you. I love you. I appreciate you. Glad to have all the disciples in the building. Number 2, Baltimore.
Be
Baltimore
more.
here. Be more. That's right. Shout out to Be More. Coach Game also says, "Let's get it, fire." That's right, family. That's right. We got Tamani in the building. That's a familiar face. Islam, beloved brother. I think she's referring to you, good brother, and we saying Islam back. Absolutely.
Islam.
Here's a favorite. My sister, my friend, mother, master student, master disciple, Mama Sekmet. She says, "Divine light to the family." Oh, that's powerful. Divine light. One more. Is that okay, Minister?
That's fine. Go ahead, brother. Do you think?
Inktown Incorporated. I wonder if he's a tat artist. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. He says, "Let's go, M.O.I." I think that is a great way for us to start this out, family. If you are
Absolutely.
truly a disciple, family, could you type M.O.I in the comments? Let's get this thing started the right way.
For damn sure. Damn sure.
Absolutely. So, Minister, I was going to say, I'm a conspiracy theorist just like you. You're in good company. But I'm not saying that the Cat Williams thing was a distraction, but I will say this: a lot has happened, and and if not for Cat Williams, it would go under and remain under the radar. Is that a
Mm.
fair statement?
Well, the Cat William bag, the cat's out the bag now, literally.
Right.
The 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 Cat Williams situation, because I gotta let the family know, like I just watched the entire interview last night.
Okay.
I've been seeing clips and snippets, on TikTok and Instagram here and there, Facebook, whatever the case is. But I watched the whole thing last night. It's like 2 hours and some change,
Yeah.
and I didn't mind listening the whole time. Like I would listen to more. Um, but I think the shit that Cat was saying, everybody's conscious and aware. We already know. You know, they tried to take Jamie Foxx out talking about Diddy Part. It's crazy. Shortly after the Jamie Foxx shit happened, that's when Diddy really got exposed. That's when that Me Too New York statute shit popped off. And it wasn't just Diddy. I think Diddy was just a fall guy because there was several more A-list white actors and other jokers who also hit up with that same thing. Do we remember back? I'm not sure if we did live or not, bro, but we was talking about Donald J. Trump.
Uh-oh.
Cause no matter what, listen, family, no matter what we cover tonight, no matter what we talk about, all roads lead back to Trump.
Mm.
All roads lead to Trump. You remember we was talking about, I don't know if you remember or not, but back before, I think, well, it had to be before COVID, clearly, but me and you did a live on how Trump was directly connected to his uncle.
All right.
And well, I'm bringing full circle for y'all. And we
Come on.
talked about how his uncle was also in charge of the Department of Alien Affairs,
You
and how
teaching.
his uncle was also in bed. I don't know literally or not, but in bed with Tesla.
Yes,
And
sir.
we found the guy who was over in Europe. He was telling us that Queen, whoever the fuck, they're not the real royal family. They gotta go. That he's the real fucking Christ. No, he said that he's rightfully so heir to the throne, and that Donald Trump is the Christ. I don't know if you remember that conversation or not, or that interview with the fellow who said that he is, and he showed the royal seal on the front gate at the Buckingham Palace. Had been taken off the gates. And he sent all this stuff up, and then we go to Trump. Trump is the only president in our lifetime, or any of the lifetime that we know about, recent modern history, that he established another branch of the military called the U.S. Space Force. Now, ain't nobody say shit about what they deploy to. We know the Marines deploy on the ground. I was in the Navy. Go Navy. The Navy deploys on the water. Air Force in the sky. So the sky is already covered. Where the fuck do they go? Nobody knows. Donald Trump established the Space Force. Not only that, the emblem of the Space Force is the same fucking symbol as Star Trek.
Come on, somebody.
Okay, nothing there to worry about. Do you also remember when Donald Trump initiated this campaign he called Drain the Swamp?
I remember.
In Donald Trump's Drain the Swamp campaign, he was beginning to expose motherfucker like Weinstein and Epstein and every other mother. Even though he was like, Trump was actually there. Okay, they got
Correct.
fucking 42 photos over the years he was actually with Epstein. So just want to put that on the table for everybody to keep that as a marker now. As we go through tonight's dialogue, dealing with various subjects, keep Donald Trump in mind. Plus, he's coming back too, because I told y'all. And see, I still got the post. I got heckled and laughed over 275 comments when I posted, "Oh, Trump's still the president of the republic." I got heckled off Facebook, but I screenshotted the post. I didn't respond back. I said my piece and walked away. They were going fucking ape shit on my ass.
I remember
Calling
that.
me insane, you crazy, just all kind of crazy shit. I said, well, y'all will see. Y'all see that, what's his name? The nigga in there right now? Biden is not the president. Y'all haven't seen Biden inside the White House at one time.
Correct.
Yeah, we seen him. That was a fucking a prompt. That was a stage prompt. There's articles on. You go to Google and you can. They'll show you the whole. It was a stage studio. Joe Biden has never walked inside the fucking White House. He can't go in there. When Obama was the fucking president, you saw him walk across the grass with a dog, had his wife, well, his husband, walking inside. You know what I'm saying? It went in the fucking back door of the White House. You've seen Bush inside the White House. You've seen Kennedy inside the White House. The only other president you have not seen inside the White House in actual life is probably niggas like George Washington and fucking Biden. I made the comment about Trump being the president. Still, nobody said anything about it. All right, cool. So everything we talk about tonight, family, just keep it back in your mind. That's all. Thank you. I just wanted to put that out there. Just keep in mind Donald Trump. Let's get into it, brother. Let's dive in.
And I believe that is a beautiful segue. So, while we were all focused on Cat Williams, this made the news. Let's check it out.
Dating Miami are going viral on social media.
This is for real, folks. The conspiracy theory stems from a large police presence at Bayside Marketplace on New Year's Day. Take a good look at your screen. Are those aliens walking in front of Bayside Marketplace in downtown Miami? Online conspiracy theorists are saying that shadowy figure not far from parked Miami police cars appears to be an alien.
Honestly, I think it looks pretty real to me. Alien look pretty chill.
I'd be friends with an alien. I think it'd be pretty cool.
The viral video was allegedly taken during that massive police presence at Bayside on New Year's Day. Crowds of young people armed with sticks began fighting. Police say juveniles were also setting off fireworks that some believed was gunfire, resulting in chaos.
There's a big crowd of people running out of Bayside and kind of grouping up outside. And then we hear more commotion, and now they're all just running through the streets, running between cars, almost getting hit by cars. It was like absolute chaos.
Now, rumors are circulating on social media saying police weren't there to handle a group of rowdy teens, but rather 8 to 10 feet tall shadow aliens.
But the real question is, are they friendly? Are they after us? Are they going to attack us? Are they going to do world domination on us? Who knows, man?
The phrases Miami Mall and aliens in Miami have been among the top 10 searches on Twitter's trending tab. And Google News even has several reports questioning the event. Miami police saying in part, There were no aliens, UFOs, or ETs. No airports were closed. No power outages. The statement ended with the facepalm emoji. Now, to read up on this story, and a lot of people are interested in the story because it's gone viral. Check it out for yourself. Go to our website, cbsmiami.com, and the police were very emphatic. There were no aliens.
Yeah, no aliens, but you can file this one definitely on the Only in South Florida tab.
People love it. People want to talk about it.
Now, I find it interesting in this particular story that it very similarly parallels with the story. I don't know if that was Utah, I can't remember, Nevada, somewhere on the West Coast. Someone said they saw some tall, dark-skinned aliens in their backyard. Minister, do you remember that?
Yeah, that was yeah, I think Nevada, Vegas is in Vegas.
Vegas.
Family,
okay, yes, sir.
Yeah, that family's going. They can't find a family no more. They're gone somewhere. No, this is real shit. But what was crazy, they had actual dash cam footage of the cops seeing the shit fall out the sky, and then they got the call moments later to go check it out. And the police was like, "Don't call us." The police said, "Don't call us for this shit no more. Like, don't call us for this right here. Like, this ain't what we do. You got to call somebody else. This ain't what we do right here." And they was dead ass for real. And they was leaving like, Hey, look, that's not our jurisdiction." I thought you said some black people, not black aliens. we don't deal with black aliens, black people. Yeah.
So they were saying it was tall, they were dark skinned in Vegas. Now in Miami, they're saying they're tall and they're dark skinned. Okay, fine. Now, I'm not saying anything against what we just saw in terms of news reporting, but I'm from the hood, and I know in the hood, whatever the real story is, the news, let's say, has it 50% right. The news is going to give you a version of the truth, which a lot of people will call it a lie, but I'm not going to go that far. It's a version. I'm gonna play a little bit of a longer. I think it's 10 minutes. We can pause it at any time. And this is TikTok, and these are boots on the ground people who are reporting from an organic source. Some people would say unofficial. I'm going to say organic. Shall we?
Please.
Okay, so a few nights ago, over 50 cops and helicopters were called over in a shopping mall area in Miami, Florida. Why were there so many cops? This is just rumors and witness reports that there were 7 to 10 feet tall creatures and beings running around the shopping area and attacking people. Now, the other report is there was a few gangs fighting amongst the shopping area and teenagers running around fighting each other with sticks and stuff. So you're telling me that many cops and helicopters came for a little teenage gang fight? And why were there so many flight delays in Miami that day? All of this wasn't even being reported by the media and covered up by that whole Epstien list.
I'm sorry. I got one more that's a little bit longer. Please forgive me. I'm going to pull it up right now. It ends with 122. Where are you at? 122. They're not showing me. Oh, I think no. It should be on downloads.
I don't think we'll ever get to the 2024 election.
No, that's not what I want. Almost ready. Here we go. All right, there we go. All right. Excuse me.
Began surfacing of 8 to 10 foot creatures which were entering the mall, which really caused the mass panic from shoppers to the point many who were armed began to fire upon the large creatures. This caused the power to be cut from the mall and surrounding homes, and black helicopters sent into the air to scan the area, shutting down the Miami airport until the search was finished. Some have described these creatures as zombies to reptilians, to even Nephilim in nature as they entered the marketplace. What are these creatures? Are they a sign of the last days of Noah, or is it a government experiment gone AWOL, or cryptids journeying from a secluded area nearby? You tell me.
How have I not heard about this? My dad's a police officer in Miami, and I mean, like, he's even running for sheriff, and I just talked to him. He didn't say anything about that. Hey, did you, have you been seeing the alien stuff? Did you see that at Bayside?
feel like waking somebody up today. I am Pastor Woke, and this is your prophetic countdown. What I'm about to tell you, you're not going to hear on Sunday morning. This is a crazy event that happened on January 2nd of 2024. We just got up in this year, and already a great shift is taking place. There was teenagers that flooded the mall. They do this every beginning of every year. This is something they do every year. When they came in, some said they had a box with them. Some believe that it was a spirit box. And some of you that do witchcraft or voodoo, you know what I'm talking about. And they plugged the box in, and they said all of a sudden the lights, something supernatural began to happen. Lights begin to flicker, strange noises started happening. But this next part will blow your mind. People started running because they started seeing these 8x10 creatures or aliens that was coming out of what looked like a portal.
A portal.
Listen, my friends, the time in which we're living in is strange. It's different. It's like no other time that we have ever lived in before. For the Bible says there's only one time that we can compare it to, and that is of the days of Noah. The Bible said, as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the coming of the Son of Man. For violence will fill the earth. Strange events will begin to happen. Strange weather things will begin to happen. But one of the main things that happened was the fallen angels. They fell from heaven, and they ascended on Mount Hermon, and they made a pact with one another. When they made a pact, they said, what we're going to do, they said, we're going to mix all of these gods the first time.
I didn't know he was going too deep into the religious aspect of it.
Nah, I'm about to tell you. Yeah, I'm about to say something. He all over the fucking place. He done jump from the Bible clean to the Book of Enoch. Like, what the fuck? And I was waiting for him to keep going with that Bible verse, because God said, "Fear not. Don't be scared. Don't go buy no fucking bug out kits. Don't go to Sam's Club, spend all your money. Like, God said, do not be afraid. For these things must happen. So, and then you can do about it." It also says, don't try to run back in your house and grab nothing. Don't try to save nothing. Because that's it. And I'm only making this point real quick because and what he was saying just then, people, you have to realize there's going to be a lot of people doing what's called fear mongering. And the fear mongering is going to happen by way of what they call floregizing, embellishing certain things. Like what he just said, to the unlearned person who was raised in Christianity, that had to sound a little bit scary. Like, oh shit. And you don't even know what you're scared of. But it invokes fear. What he just did was invoke fear based on what he just said. Real quick, watch this. He was tying in a actual event that really just fucking happened to a mythological narrative story.
True.
And you took that mythological narrative that's not even fucking proven to be real at all, and he tied in a real event to that. And in your mind, everything after that is real, he just said. I just want to point that out now. It's going to be a lot of that going on, family. It's going to be a lot of that stuff going on. Mark my words, and you hear me good. I know we got to go on what we're doing, but hear me good. Yeshua, who you commonly known as Jesus of Nazareth, he said, be careful. And when I seen Jesus say, be careful, I'm like, what the fuck scared him? For him to say, be careful. Wait, listen, Jesus just said, hey, watch out. Now, if I'm big and bad and I'm telling you to watch out, what am I afraid of? He said, be careful that nobody fools you. That's it. Let's continue.
What I wanted to point this out. good minister. And I believe it was my mother who pointed this out to me years and years and years ago. Let me just read this on the screen and then I'll tell you what my mama told me. This is from Quora.com and it says, question, why was it that in the Bible, angels always tell the people, do not fear me? Every time an angel appeared, people were scared ishless. I think John's father was like the candle lighter in the church, and an angel walked up to him and he was so scared he couldn't speak for like 3 days or something. Don't get me to lying, but
That's
a
right.
lot of people were scared.
That's right.
Most of the, we don't see, this is according to the Bible. Nobody saw an angel and was filled with glory and praise. They were like, shit, God damn it, run. I'm sorry, please.
No, I was about to add back to what you're saying. There's a couple of different instances. For example, when the archangel Jibrail, son of Eliun, when he appeared to Mary Magdalene, I'm sorry, not Mary Magdalene, when he appeared to Mary, the mother of Yeshua, scared the fuck out of her.
Right.
Watch this now. He had to say, hey, chill out. Don't be scared. Chill out. You have one or two reactions when humans encounter these beings. They either are scared as fuck or they immediately recognize who they are and they look away and bow down to them. They prostrate to the ground. Abraham was approached by 3 angels. And because I use the word angel, automatically your mind is so subconsciously fucked. You go to some little crazy shit, cartoon wing being. In your mind is what you go to because you didn't read the book of Ezekiel when Ezekiel told you exactly how these motherfuckers look. Ezekiel said they got 6 wings. They got eyes on all wings. They got 2 to hide their eyes, 2 to fly, and 2 to cover their feet. This is what Ezekiel said look like. Now, why is Ezekiel so important? Because Ezekiel told you about the wheel, that chariot that he saw in the fucking sky that came down, which is the same wheel and chariot that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad talks about that wheel. Farrakhan, this is like 7 years ago. I told you tonight it's sponsored by number 7. Farrakhan made this exact fucking speech talking about the wheel, this mothership that sends out these little fucking smaller ships. Now you had a I forgot his name. He's a white scientist, Caucasian fellow scientist. You know, all these white scientists and ex-military high-ranking members who had these G14 classifications are now being interviewed by Congress. Because Congress don't even have access to these fucking aliens. They don't have access to Area 51, Nevada, the fucking the mount, what you think are mountains are really fucking cities underground out in Colorado, Denver Airport, all that shit. So now Congress is now getting put up on game about what's going on. And these retired Air Force guys, these retired Army guys, these retired Special Forces guys are telling the fucking truth. Like, yes, they're here. They've been here since they've been here. This scientist said these motherfuckers not even out of space. Y'all go pull up while I'm talking about this shit now. Watch it, because now I'm about to put the image to the words. I'm gonna talk for 3 more minutes and pass the mic. Pull up the movie clip on YouTube if you can. What's the movie with fucking Rihanna? She was in the Navy, the aliens and shit. Oh fuck, what's the name of it? I can't think of the name of the movie. Put it in though, it'll come up. Somebody in the audience, help me out. What's the name of the movie that had Rihanna? It was remember the aliens that came down. They shot a beam up into space. Rihanna was in the Navy in this movie. Fuck,
Battleship.
Battleship. Thank you, Islam. Now, if you can just play the trailer, I'm about to blow y'all fucking mind for 3 minutes, and I'm gonna pass the mic because because while he's finding the trails to this shit, I can take you through the second fucking Wakanda movie with this shit and the new Aquaman movie with this shit too. Same shit. What we're thinking is outer space, which is up, and we can't go up. We can't go up.
Teach.
The white boy Musk just showed you months ago that we can't. Look at the rocket that Elon, the last rocket that Elon Musk made, he purposely made it look like a fucking throwing dart. And he explained why. Like, we're trying to, he's for speed, the pointier it is and sharper it is, you cut through the atmosphere and, no, he's trying to bust that fucking dome up there. This is a bit, it's hit his live. They just did it a couple months ago. They launched the fucking thing and it went all the way fucking up there and it scathed the dome. Now, when this rocket scathed the dome, it looks just like a jet on the water. How the water, rips with the jet. It looked, and it fucking hit the dome and exploded. Boom! Like it looks like it hit something and stopped moving. They're not from outer space. Play the clip for me real quick. Battleship. Now, as this shit is playing, because you ain't got to play the volume of it. You got to play the volume. You put it on mute. These motherfuckers are not from up outer space. They come out of the water. They come out of the water. The water is the portal to any other fucking areas on this flat earth. Because now by now, there's other areas of fucking land out here. There is. Get over it. And the biggest fear that these Caucasians have is the fucking ice wall is melting. Ooh, the earth is heating up. The fucking oceans are going to overflow. We're going to lose Florida. We're going to lose California. All this crazy nonsense. If you don't believe me, I want you to get a glass of water, family. Fill it up with ice, and then fill it with water almost to the top. Let the ice melt. That fucking glass will not overflow. The volume of the ice is already accounted for. Those icebergs are already accounted for in the volume of the water. It ain't gonna fucking overflow nowhere. What they're afraid of is some other areas that Hitler talked about, that Admiral Byrd talked about.
Whoa. I need to go see this movie. What the heck is going on?
Watch this now. Look at this shit. They just put another dome inside. That's the fucking dome. It disrupted all the electronical frequencies on the ship. And that shit right there just popped out the water was already underwater the whole time. Never came from outer space. As we think up. These motherfuckers are already in the water. All right? Now,
put it in our face.
The fucking aliens, or as we were told in school, because I'm 41 family, so that means when I was in school, we was told at one point reptiles rule this fucking planet.
They did say that.
Reptiles rule the planet. And what they did in our little minds, they showed us the animal kingdom of that era. What else was here? 2,000 years from now, family, it's 2024. 4,024, they're going to show a picture of a Rockweiler. What was that? Oh, they ruled they ruled the planet. If they only show dogs and no other pictures of humans, you would think that dogs rule the planet. They showed us the animal kingdom, the reptilians. This is what was said in the Bible about the water. In the beginning, and as we were taught before on Chrome TV, we know this wasn't the fucking beginning because it would have said from the beginning, but it said in the beginning. And because this is in English, the word in means there's something already taking place there, already happened. In the beginning, the earth, which means dirt, soil, terra, or terrestrial. This plane we see in front of us right here, this shit we see in front of us right here was all water, the Bible says in the beginning. All fucking water. And this energy, this light source, this being, something hovered over the face of the deep. That means the water. So I asked myself, what is looking up, watching this, telling the story? Because the thing that's hovering is not telling the fucking story. The thing that's watching it hover is telling the story. Hover over the face of the deep. This was all water. What was watching? What had the stamina, the power to watch and observe God? What was watching, observing God?
Teach.
This being who was watching, observing God in the water, in the primordial water, all my Hotep niggas, in the primordial waters, was a deity by the name of Zil or Zazil, or some people call him, what do they call him? Let's just stick with Zazil for a second, or Zil, or Zilla. Now they show you the movie of who? Godzilla, the god of all the Zillas. And you've never seen Godzilla fly. Somehow this nigga go from Japan to Tokyo in 2 fucking minutes. Where do you always see Godzilla at? In the motherfucking water.
In the water.
Now, 2 more minutes. Godzilla is a certain type of worm. They're also known as whales. They're also known as tannin. Keep that in mind, family, because these tannin, or these whales, or these dragons, go watch the second fucking Wakanda movie. Go watch the Aquaman just came out too, by the way. Man, they put it in front of your face. It's the point I'm making. They put it in front of your face. They're telling you what's going on. They're telling you what's happening. This is part of the fucking psyops. Let's get back to the script. Let's go back to the script.
Okay. I wanted to share this with the people. I assume a lot of the disciples have been here at A1 since day one, but there's always so many new followers. And the minister has really been beating this down for a very long time. So I just want to go into archives real quick and just share this with you. Check this out. Intelligence agencies have 180 days to share what they know about UFOs. When President Donald Trump signed the $2.3 trillion coronavirus relief and government funding bill into law in December 2020, so began the 180-day countdown for U.S. intelligence agencies to tell Congress what they know about UFOs.
So now they're starting to hear shit like extraterrestrial connection to who we are, dealing with not just the Draco star system, but the Pleiadians and Orions and the various intergalactical empires. Because I said that too. You did. I said intergalactical empires, Sata Queen. And here you have former Israel space security chief says extraterrestrials exist and Trump knows about it. A galactical federation has been waiting for humans to reach a stage where we will understand what space and spaceships are. Why did he say galactical federation? I've been saying intergalactical federation because I was trying to break down the structure between the League of Nations. United Nations report to the League of Nations. The League of Nations report to the Intergalactic Federation.
I have a question. An Israeli employee said that they're alien galactic federations. So, in your guys' opinion, how does that tie into our celestial ancestry, us coming from other star systems? What do you have to say about that?
When you get into the Sangoma, knows for a fact what's called Earth was seeded 5 points Atlanta. General or something? Question to President been afraid of.
I invoked a Star Trek
that they need a military in outer freaking space.
And the symbol for the Space Force is the same symbol as a Star Trek symbol.
Stop it!
It's the same symbol.
Can I get a damn Gina?
The reason that Donald Trump had invoked the
Space Force.
The Space Force.
Space Force.
Because you've got to remember now, the U.S. Army had already started ESD, Earth Space Defense.
I fought in the war in '96. I know what those things are capable of. But I know what my daughter is capable of. And I know this planet is safer because she's defending it.
So Earth Space Defense was invoked because he was already told by his uncle. Trump's uncle was the reason that they started Department of Alien Affairs.
I went inside the FBI vaults and somebody had filed
under FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, looking for the documents that were seized upon the death of Nikola Tesla. J. Edgar Hoover had wrote to the Inquirer. He said, hey guys, the information is not here in the FBI vaults. You're gonna go to the Department of Alien Affairs?
That's the Department of Alien Affairs. And you know the uniform for all the agents? Black suits, black ties, white, black glasses. The paradigm shift is about to come to where we have to start addressing things off the planet. We're about to start seeing a lot more talk of these extraterrestrials. Anything inside of this atmosphere is terrestrial. On top of the Earth. Anything inside of Earth is called terrestrius. Anything that's advanced living outside of our biodome is called an extraterrestrial. So these extraterrestrials have been painted in your mind to be these little green space creatures, when in reality look just like you and me. And that's why in any religious pretext, you always hear of something ascending from somewhere. Even the book of Revelation talks about this huge crystal city, which is a spaceship that's coming down to Earth, and it's going to zap up 144,000 individuals. That 144,000 of us will be saved.
From TV.
Islam.
That was
The truth
2020.
never fade nor pass away. The truth should never fade nor pass away. Now that clip is old.
That's 4 years ago. How long has the minister been saying this?
That was crazy.
Yeah.
That I almost feel like we can start reposting old stuff back to YouTube and get 100,000 likes. Easy. See, wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, with that said, since we are already technically meshing aliens and elections, because it seems this whole alien thing is very closely tied with the government for whatever reason. I wanted to go into the elections.
Okay.
Because we're in 2024. So this year in November on a Tuesday, we're going to vote. It's always on a Tuesday to whom it may concern. Tuesday's the day of war. But anyway, yeah. So in November on a Tuesday in the second week of November, I believe, we're going to have another election. And the reason why that is important is because there's been a lot of shady, I don't want to say shady, but yeah, let's say shady business. There's been a lot of shady business going on in terms of elections, because even the minister said earlier in the broadcast, we've never seen joke Biden in the White House. Right. Let me see if I can pull up some receipts. What do we got here? Joke Biden, where are you at?
I don't think we'll ever get.
Here we go. Check this out.
We'll ever get to the 2024 election. I think things are going to implode in Washington before then. I think our economic financial condition is fragile. It's going to come home to roost in ugly ways. I will tell you, I don't know exactly how it will happen. I think we're going to end up in a situation where we find out the banks are closed for 2 or 3 weeks and nobody can get into them.
You think so?
I think we're going to run into something like that, yeah. I also think that the levels of violence and criminality in our cities is so high that it's going to spill over into other places in society. People that normally think they can live remote from the problem are now beginning to be touched by the problem. Then I look at this thing in Ukraine. I think Ukraine is going to lose catastrophically. It's going to be a complete collapse. And that, too, is going to have an effect here at home, because people are going to say, well, wait a minute. Everybody told us Ukraine was winning. Everybody told us X, Y, and Z. I mean, sort of the Russian hoax on steroids. All of those things are going to come together or converge in some way that's going to prevent us from reaching, the status quo. Oh, another election. Oh, another set of campaigns and so forth.
That was a former U.S. general who said he doesn't believe that we're going to have a election. Let me pull up this article. I'll read it a little bit and I'll get your take on it, Minister. Let me see where I'm at. I've got like 100 windows open. Close all of that. Uh, so the last election we had, well, matter of fact, honestly, it goes past the last election. George Bush Jr., not Daddy Bush, Baby Bush. Baby Bush had an issue in Florida because his brother at the time, Jeb Bush, was the governor, and a lot of people said they were hiding votes. Then we saw where a lot of people, myself included, have come to the conclusion that there was a stolen election. And the reality is, respectfully, maybe technically, I don't know, we still haven't gotten to the bottom of that. Here we go. Here's the article. No one can really say what happened last election. So now that we come up on this election, there's seems to be a lot of people who are dubious. I think let me see. What state said they're not going to put Donald Trump on the ballot? One of these states, Colorado, it says right here, CBS News as of 2 days ago, Supreme Court agrees to hear Colorado case over Trump's 2024 ballot eligibility. They're saying he's not even eligible to run. He has 91 charges against him, which is just insane. And they're saying that the 2024 Congress will not be determined by a Democratic vote of the people, but the Supreme Court is going to determine. Supreme Court is going to determine the 2024 election. Supreme Court to hear Trump ballot case. Supreme Court to decide if Trump is going to win. Supreme Court to take Trump to the case. Blah blah blah. So let's see what this little article from Politico. This is not tinfoilhat.com, whatever the case may be. So Stefanik preemptively declines to commit to accepting 2024 election results. Let me be honest. I don't know who Stefanik is, but obviously it's some okay. A New York Republican, an ardent supporter of Donald Trump, made it clear she doesn't trust Democrats. The 2024 election has not even occurred, and people are saying that it's a fluke. It's not real. It's not going to be something we can trust. So it reads, Representative Stefanik on Sunday declined to commit to clarifying the results of the 2024 election and accused Democrats of trying to, quote unquote, steal the election and illegally gerrymander congressional districts in their favor. Quote, we will see if this is a legal and valid election, end quote, the New York Republican said. When asked by NBC's Somebody whether she would commit to certifying the result of the upcoming election, quote, what we're seeing so far is that Democrats are so desperate they're trying to remove Donald Trump from the ballot. That is a suppression of the American people, Stefanik added. In reference to the efforts in some states to block, well, I think I lost the minister. Oh, what we're seeing so far is that Democrats are so desperate they're trying to remove Donald Trump, President Trump, from the ballot. That is a suppression of the American people, Stefanik added. In reference to the efforts in some states to block Trump from the ballot under the 14th Amendment, which bars those who have engaged in insurrection from holding office. Stefanik, the number 4 House Republican, voted against certifying the election results in Pennsylvania in 2020. I think Pennsylvania, they said they didn't believe in. Did Pennsylvania question the 2020 election? Pennsylvania Supreme Court did not rule 2020 election. What did the Supreme Court rule in Pennsylvania for 24? Claim Pennsylvania Supreme Court ruled that 2020 election was rigged. The state, this is not M.O.I on YouTube, Crumb TV on Facebook. This is the whole state of Pennsylvania said the 2020 election, quote unquote, was rigged. Their words, not mine. So now old girl is saying Stefanik, the number 4 House Republican, voted against certifying election results in Pennsylvania in 2020. Everybody in the state of Pennsylvania, I just want to make this clear, their votes did not count.
That's crazy.
We still haven't even came to a solid, unanimous, or democratic conclusion to what happened in 2020, and now we're in 2024. Well, quote, well, I voted not to certify the state of Pennsylvania because, as we saw in Pennsylvania and other states across the country, that there was unconstitutional acts circumventing the state legislator and unilaterally changing election law, she said. Trump and his allies filed dozens of lawsuits in an effort to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election, losing all but one minor one in Pennsylvania. Stefanik agreed to certify the results if they're constitutional, but claimed that what happened in 2020 was unconstitutional, circumventing of the Constitution, not going through state legislators when it comes to changing election law. The Democrats are just making rules as they go. We see how powerful of a force the Democratic Party is, whether you like them or you don't like them. I would have to say safely that they are on Donald Trump's AZZ. They're on him. They're running things. I would say Biden is a force to be reckoned with, and they will do anything in their power to maintain power. I heard this even before Donald Trump was in office, that there was going to be something crazy coming from the Democratic Party to keep them in power, even if it had to go to the links of martial law, whatever the case may be. Let me breathe. I've said a lot. What say ye, Minister?
Well, it's a lot to unpack, man. Um, I think on my Instagram page, Minister Information Instagram page, I had made a post when this shit first happened, back when they had stormed the Capitol.
Correct.
And I said, I don't think people understand what that really meant. You know, the colloquial saying, "We're storming the hill." That's exactly what they did. They stormed the hill.
Correct.
And what became so crazy to me was, I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And I made a post on my page. The movie, is it Braveheart?
With
Mel Gibson?
Mel Gibson, yes, sir.
No, Patriot. The Patriot. And
Okay.
I put the definition of what a patriot is. I think everybody should understand and read the definition of a fucking patriot. Because people really don't understand the political ramification of what was happening during the fucking Revolutionary War. And we think the whole country was at war. That's not true. Places like Pennsylvania and the Eastern Seaboard. So a patriot, a person who is vigorously supports their country and is prepared to defend it against enemies or what?
Detractors.
Detractors. So now what happens is you take an oath as president to defend the Constitution in this nation against all threats.
Foreign
and domestic.
And domestic, yes, sir.
And you have to understand what the demos system is. If you know what the demos system is, or the democracy, and what they stand for, and their agenda, then you're already lost. And the fact that I'm 41, remember? When we was in school, elementary school, primary, we said the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't think we understand what a pledge is. It's a verbal contract. And you recited it every fucking morning through primary, middle school. And in this oath, all of you Illuminati ass babies born in the 80s and 90s, you Illuminati babies, you took a fucking oath before an image to the republic. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands for. That's what it stands for.
Mm-hmm.
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, governmental ordinance department.
Mm.
Gold, oil, and drugs, whatever how you want to put this shit.
Come on.
With liberty and justice for all. So I think we have to go back, bro, and like really understand when we talk about Democrats and Republicans. What is a Democrat? What is a Republican? And what are you? Are you a liberal? What are you? That's just a political affiliation, family. Black folk at large were always Republican. Even after the fucking end of the Civil War and end of the so-called chattel slavery, we were always Republicans. Always, because we stood for the Constitution. We stood for what was right. We stood for what was in black and white. This demo system is a groupthink system. That's all I'll say about that.
Minister, I wanted to ask a more straightforward question. Do you believe, and obviously there's no right answer, but do you believe we're going to have a fair election this year?
And let me ask you this question back. And I'll answer your question, but let's talk to the people real quick on how the election works, because I think people think that them going to a computer now or a ballot box and dropping in a vote, it used to be that way, but you going to cast a vote, you're casting a vote for an individual. I don't think people understand that what the people are doing at large, that's called the popular vote, has nothing to do with the electoral college. And if this is your first time hearing the word electoral college, then you're severely fucking behind. And if you think the electoral college is a physical brick and mortar institution, you're lost.
Come on.
So we have to talk about how the electoral votes are the votes that count towards making the presidency. And the presidents are pre-selected.
Come
They
on.
select the individuals who first have to do a campaign, have what's called a runoff. You have to be a senator, first of all. There's a whole criteria to being fucking president.
Correct.
And as this little white girl, I think she was like in the 8th, 9th grade, maybe a little bit older. She spent her entire summer showing the chart of the bloodline of presidencies. They're all the same fucking bloodline because they're pre-selected.
Yeah.
Now,
Shout out to that little girl. She's tough.
Right. Now, Trump different.
Come on.
Different.
Yeah,
And
I think Trump's the only one who is not in the bloodline.
right. Trump a whole different breed now. Trump not like the other reptilians. Now Trump, and I'm not pro-Trump, I'm not against Trump. I'm just pro-right. Whatever the fuck is right, y'all. Right is right and wrong is wrong. All right. Under the presidency of Donald Trump, more was done for so-called black people than under the Obama administration. Way more. There's a whole list online. Go look.
Indeed.
Go look. And in fact, here's the kicker. There are more photos of Donald Trump and pictures with black people than Obama pictures with black people. Before there was an Obama. But anyway,
Teach.
now Trump is going to do something to reestablish the republic, because that's what we are. The Constitution says each state is guaranteed a republic form of government, not democracy, not a demo form of government, a republic form of government, right? So
Right.
what's happening right now? Now, ask yourself, how many times have you seen Camilla?
Oh man, I forgot who that was.
You're like, Camilla who? Right.
Right.
Camilla's just deciding not to play no more. She's like, man, this shit crazy.
Yeah, I
Because
thought she quit.
thought she was like, she really thought like she didn't know. She had no idea. She's never around Leatherface Biden, because this nigga's not the real. Who is this person?
Correct.
You can pull up 4 different photos. It's just a different person every single time, and they don't show you Mission Impossible 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, where they put the fucking skin mask on, look just like the motherfucker with the voice box.
Stop it.
Psyops. They.
Minister, I want to just take a brief commercial break. We just hit the hour point. I wanted to let all of the disciples, we're definitely in here tonight. I'm glad to see all of you. Family, please, we're passing the collection plate around. Please support the minister. He has more stuff to come for the next hour. That's on Cash App. Is this the right Cash App going across the ticker on the bottom of the screen, Minister?
I do not believe so.
Okay, but if you could just type it in the comments.
It's okay. It's okay. It is hold on. That's crazy. Cash App don't crash. It don't crash. It's already started. It's Chef J Ponder. So yes, right.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, okay, cool. Just real quick, I wanted to ask the family, if you could, the number tonight, because the minister said it already, is 7. This video is brought to you by the number 7. So if you could throw that 7 into the plate for the minister tonight on the Cash App, money sign Chef J Ponder. That's right, family, on the Cash App, money sign. We've already given you an hour, but we're going to give you more time. I don't know how much more time, but please, and thank you. Throw something, show your love, show your appreciation, because we're jumping like Jordan. It's nothing new over here. Money sign Chef J Ponder. Tap all the way in. So with that said, Minister, please finish. I'm sorry.
Oh no. That's pretty much it. My whole rant. Like,
Okay.
Trump.
No problem.
When I made the comment about Trump coming back in 2024, I got laughed at. I said, well, he's technically still a president. And the charges they have against Trump family, y'all have to understand the difference between criminal and civil. Those are civil charges against Trump, not criminal charges.
Woo!
That's why he's walking around, because there is just a civil suit. Now, with a civil suit, I could put a civil suit against any one of y'all. It's just a claim.
Right.
A claim of something, or of an indebtedness, or a certain statute or ordinances, or whatever. I just put a claim in against you, pretty much. And then the courts sends you what's called a summons to come to bear witness to this claim, or to face your accuser.
Right.
And the accuser, the burden of proof lies on the accuser to prove the case.
Right.
All right. So that's all it is. Like, Trump is not a fucking criminal. That's what civil charges. But go ahead though.
Absolutely. So you were talking about the Electoral College, and if I had to guess, respectfully, a lot of the family may not be crystal clear on the Electoral College. They may not understand the clear definitions between a democracy and a republic. So I want to start with the Electoral College, if that's okay.
Please.
So Electoral College, and before I go, well, the answer's already up here. Presidents are not I'm sorry, presidents are selected, not elected. That's a quote from Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Well, why should we listen to Franklin Delano Roosevelt? Why is he important? Well, family, you may not know this, but Franklin Delano Roosevelt served four, that's right, 4 terms in office, and he would have served 5 if he did not die. Oh, Crumb, you can only serve 2 terms as president. No, that wasn't always the case. Prior prior to Delano Roosevelt, you could be president indefinitely, making you a quasi king. The closest thing America has ever had to a president, I'm sorry, excuse me, to a king, to an emperor, is Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Concerns from him having so much time in office led to the 22nd Amendment in 1951, which established a 2-term limit. Oh, we love well, I think people say Jesus, Martin Luther King, and JFK is the physical trinity. You go in a black man's house, a black woman's house, you're going to see Jesus, you're going to see a picture of Jesus, you're going to see a picture of JFK, you're going to see a picture of Martin Luther King. But America's truly favorite president was FDR. They kept voting for this man nonstop. And even if they didn't vote for him, he said, it don't matter if you vote for me, I'm still going to be president. So now, electoral college, oligarchy, uh, aristocrat, aristocracy, and I pronounced that wrong, plutocracy. So an oligarchy is ruled by few. Aristocracy is ruled by the nobilities, the people who build your cities. A plutarchy is ruled by the wealthy. Or what we have now is a amalgamation of the three. An oligarchy is just a few people who are the very few 1% of the aristocrats, and they are very wealthy people. So why is this important? Let's go into the meat and potatoes of your electoral college. Question: why did they create the electoral college? Answer: the electoral college was created for 2 reasons. The first purpose was to create a buffer between the population, the democracy, the people at large, and the selection of the president. Just in case you didn't catch that, family, I'm going to read it one more time. The electoral college was created to buffer between the population and the selection of the president. Yo ass don't select the president.
Nope.
The electoral college is between you and the selection of the president. The founding fathers were afraid of direct election to the presidency. They feared a tyrant could manipulate public opinion and come to power. Next question: when did the electoral college start in the United States? Answer, according to history.house.gov, in an article titled Electoral College Fast Facts. The answer is the 12th Amendment, ratified in 1804, changed the original process, allowing for separate ballots for determining the president and vice president. See Electoral College and indecisive elections for more information. The District of Columbia has 3 electors since the 23rd Amendment, yeah, blah, blah, blah. What they're basically saying is that you don't vote for the president. Your vote is the popular vote. That's just to see who's cool. That's just to see who you like. That doesn't mean anything else other than that. So now, a faithless elector. So no, Crown, that's not how it works. We in each state, we determine who we like, and the electoral college has to follow what we say. No, that's not true. The electoral college does whatever they want, regardless of what you say. Now, the reality is you've been programmed to say whatever it is you say. Whatever it is you think is your see, Minister, can I harp for just a little bit, please?
Please go ahead.
When When a brother or sister says, I want a Snickers, you must understand that is an inorganic thought that has been programmed into your psyche. You weren't born wanting Snickers. That thought was put inside your mind. You were programmed. It's a reality. So now, depending on how good the programming is, you're already going to vote the way they want you to vote. So now, if you don't vote the way they want you to vote, then they'll vote the way they want to vote. It's called a faithless elector. So here it is. 29 states and Washington D.C. have always have laws attempting to prevent the occurrence of so-called faithless electors. They don't have faith in you. You're a democracy. That's mob rule. You're a mob. When members of the Electoral College vote for a candidate other than their state's winner. Oh, what's the girl name? Hillary Clinton won Texas. But we don't have faith in the people who voted for Hillary Clinton, so we're going to vote for the elector, whoever it is we want to. And this has happened before. If you look to the right, it says state electors give Nixon 12, Wallace 1. I'm not going to read the whole thing because honestly, it's really just too small. Let me see, can I make this bigger?
Okay.
North Carolina's Electoral College delegation voted 12-1 for resident-elect Richard Nixon here Monday at a session plagued by leadership vacuum, blah, blah, blah. In that state, they did not vote for Nixon and they gave it to Nixon anyway. The state of North Carolina did not want Nixon, but the people at the top, the oligarchs, the aristocrats, the plutarchs, they wanted Nixon. North Carolina didn't want Nixon, but nobody cares what your vote is. Our vote chooses electors who then make the real vote. Electors are retired politicians and politicians' friends and family. An anonymous Minnesota, because you, family, listening audience, and those who are going to catch this later, yo ass don't know who the electors are. You don't know who they are. That's the mystery, man. Y'all want to talk about tinfoil hat conspiracy? Tell me who these mystery electors are. Y'all be like, oh, them, they, who? They who? Well, they don't tell you who. An anonymous Minnesota elector pledged for Democrats John Kerry and John Edwards cast his or her presidential vote for John Edwards rather than John Kerry, presumably by accident. Minnesota's electors cast secret ballots so the identity of the faithless elector is not known. The reason this is important, because John Edwards, I think he wasn't even running. The dude, because when they vote, remember, they're shooting up heroin. I'm not being funny either. They're sniffing cocaine. They're getting drunk. This dude was drunk. A lot of people say he was drunk. Whoever or the person, the girl, the guy, they were drunk when they made that accidental vote. They wrote John Edwards and they meant to write John Kerry, but they were turned up that night and it was an accident. Almost done, Minister. Please bear with me. Question. What is the difference between a direct election and indirect election? Answer, according to enotes.com in an article titled Explain the Difference Between the Direct and Indirect Democracy. It reads, direct democracy is when the people vote directly on the laws or the issues that are proposed. Indirect democracy is when the people elect representatives who vote on law on behalf of the people. An example of direct democracy is when you elect people to Congress who represent you. With that said, the prince electors were the members of the electoral college that elected the emperor of the Holy Roman Empire. That's right, family. You are living in New Rome, and we're doing it like the Romans did it. From the 13th century onwards, the prince electors had the privilege of electing the monarch who would be crowned by the Pope. After 1508, the election was sufficient. Charles V, elected in 1519, was the last emperor to be crowned. His successor was elected emperors by the Electoral College, each being titled Elected Emperor of the Romans. The The dignity of the elector carried great prestige and was considered by to be the second only to the king or the emperor. The electors held exclusive privileges that weren't shared with other princes of the empire, and they continued to hold their original titles alongside of the electors. This thing's been going on for a very long time.
but it's good information though. It's good information. You know what I'm saying?
Last thing, and then I'll pass the mic. Democracy is mob rule. So this is according to Monticello, however you want to pronounce it, .com. And it says democracy is nothing more than mob rule. So now, why do we have a electoral college? Because we're not going to let the mob vote. You guys are angry. You guys are riled up. I don't know if Donald Trump has put a battery in your back or Joe Biden has put a battery in your back. I don't know why you're doing whatever it is you're doing, but we as a governmental body do not trust and have faith and believe in your ability to choose a reasonable and rational and capable leader. So we're going to put a buffer between the mob, which is a democracy, and the federal government. Last point: when you're dealing with the a republic, that is a government ruled by paper. When you're dealing with a democracy, that is a government ruled by the people. So now you're only going to get a democracy at your local and state level. You vote for your mayor, you vote for your governor. That's where your ass stop. You sit down after that. Okay. After that, you don't do any more voting. Any voting you do from after your state governor or your local municipality mayor, you don't vote for presidents. Electoral colleges vote for presidents because that's how a republic is run versus a democracy. We are only a democracy at the state and municipal level. We are a republic exclusively at the federal level. That means your ass don't vote for no goddamn president. I yield the floor.
Facts. No, everything you said was fucking facts and 100% true. And people have to understand and know what that shit looks like. And that's what it looks like. When I ask
Let
people
me
all the time, people ask, "Did you vote? Did you vote?" Hell no, I ain't vote. You didn't vote. You ain't got a voice for the president. I said, "Did you vote for your local sheriff or your local DA? What about your state's attorney? What about the new principal who's over the board of education in your school district? You vote for none of that shit? That's the shit that's gonna affect your life, nigga.
That's it.
We've been through presidents since you've been alive. At least 8, 9, 10 of the motherfuckers. Your life is still the same.
Right.
They don't affect what the fuck going on down at this level. The president don't even get involved. You don't see the footage from the 60s when they had to beg Kennedy to send troops down to fucking Montgomery? Kennedy's like, we can't. That's state level shit. The National Guard got to go out there. And the National Guard is the state's army. They want him to send the United States Army down there. And Kennedy was like, shit, we'll send a couple of them, but we can't get him. Like, did y'all know that American troops can't be deployed on American soil?
Ooh.
You will never see that happen unless we're under what's called martial law. When we go into a whole other jurisdiction, the word then is jurisprudence. We go into a whole other level of judicial system. Okay? So, yeah, everything you said 100% true, family. Please look into it, dig into it. But I want to move the pendulum just a little bit, bro, and see if we can hop on this Cat Williams, which is a hot topic. Everybody want to know about Cat. And what Cat said is true. I think me and you already had covered a lot of this shit before Cat even dropped with the Diddy joint. Like, we went through the Diddy joint. We talked about the comedy joint a while ago, remember? I was going through the whole history of comedians. I think I was going from like Flip Wilson all the way down, showing you about Bernie Mac, everybody like that. And then we got on the joint with Will Smith and his shenanigans. So a lot of this stuff that popping off, we already had talked about it beforehand. But I finally watched last night for the first time. Like I watched the whole interview with Cat Williams. Man, Cat went off, man.
I got a little bit of footage if you want to go through it real quick.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA and in his first year in LA, he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is?
So right there, he is accusing Kevin Hart of being an industry plant. Kevin Hart did not have a organic ascension to rising to the ranks of stardom. Kevin Hart was placed at the top as a fan favorite. I'm sorry, excuse me, as a Hollywood favorite. Excuse me. Did you want to say something, or should I continue?
No, real quick. And what Cat is explaining is he didn't go through the organic growth of a comedian.
Correct.
Doing several sold out shows and X, Y, and Z and the Laugh Factory. Now, Kevin Hart did appear on Def Comedy Jam. Now Def Comedy Jam is a rite of passage in the comedy world. I think it's like 3 or 4 other comedy clubs that you have to go to. I think like 2 in New York and like 1 in New Jersey somewhere. But you have to hit those comedy clubs or nobody fucking respects you in the world of comedy. Now, what Cat saying about Kevin is Kevin did some dark shit. And that's why Kevin got to where he is. Because Cat said in the interview, he was offered every script before Kevin got it, came across his desk. He just turned it down. He didn't want to do the homosexual shit. But Kevin was with the shits. Kevin kissed Dwayne The Rock Johnson in the mouth. He got Shaquille O'Neal hump his butt. Ain't no grown ass man. I don't care if it's commercial. That's not a joke.
That's not
funny at all.
And
so
Cat
was right.
Minister, are you familiar with Patrice O'Neal?
No. Who's that?
I wanted to ask the listening audience, because he's not very big. Let's be honest. The listening audience, if you are not familiar with Patrice O'Neal, press 000. But if you are familiar with Patrice O'Neal, press 111. I myself am. I'm gonna press 1, but if you're not, press 0. It's completely up to you. Obviously, if you do not know who Patrice O'Neal is, give me a big 0. If you do know who Patrice O'Neal is, press 111. Because Patrice O'Neal corroborates Cat Williams' story. So Cat Williams said Kevin Hart never got any traction on the West Coast where you have to cut your teeth. Kevin Hart was on the East Coast and he was trash. Cat Williams was on the East Coast, going up and down the East Coast to these comedy clubs, and he was getting booed. Patrice O'Neal arguably is the king of comedy of the East Coast, which is very small compared to Hollywood. So Cat Williams, who's from Philly, goes to Boston, where Patrice O'Neal resides, and he is bombing. Patrice O'Neal grabs a phone book, throws it on stage. Cat Williams says, "What's that?" Patrice O'Neal screams out from the crowd. He said, "It's a phone book. There's better material in there." And the whole room starts busting out laughing against Kevin Hart. Can I play the receipts for that? It's only like 30 seconds. Is that okay, Minister?
Man, please put that up. I've never seen that. Yeah.
Very, very awful joke. I remember telling this joke and a phone book comes flying on the stage. Patrice threw a fucking phone book at me. I'm talking, we're at the Boston Comedy Club. It's people in the crowd.
Tiny little place.
All you heard was, and you sit back. It hits the floor. And I said, yo, what the fuck was that? And Patrice said, read it. There's better material in it than what you're saying now. Crowd starts laughing. He's they all, when I say they used to trash me so bad.
He said everybody trashed him. You're not funny. So when Cat Williams said it, it's not oh my God. Kevin admitted he's not funny, but my apologies. We can continue with what Cat Williams said if you want, or you want to say something.
No, continue. Cat.
Time to fact check everything he said because the world of Cat Williams is a fictional world.
After all those shady things Kevin Hart said on The Breakfast Club about Cat Williams being on drugs, Cat finally said enough is enough, and he just pulled out the receipts exposing Kevin as the biggest plant in the industry. In his viral new interview with Shannon Sharpe, Cat held nothing back, and he went off on Kevin for lying about his journey to success. Now, Cat dropped hints before, implying that Kevin took some shady shortcuts and sacrificed his principles for fame, and Kevin then tried to paint Cat as an addict and claimed Cat was just using Hollywood as a scapegoat for his own personal failures. But Cat's now dead set on clarifying why he's so convinced that Kevin would do just about anything to grab success by the horns. In his new interview, Cat claimed Kevin lied to everyone about how he made it big in Hollywood, exposed him for doing gay roles for a check, explained what club Kevin belongs to, and so much more. So let's break it all down.
That's why, you know what the number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is?
What?
Is to act like it didn't happen. They all do the same job.
You've probably heard Kevin Hart bragging about how he's the hardest working comedian in the game. But here's the thing, while he loves to talk up his work ethic, there are a lot of people who have dropped hints that Kevin's success isn't just about hard work. And Cat Williams, he's not the one to mince words. Cat is done with throwing hints and making insinuations, and he's now directly calling out Kevin for being an industry plant. To give you some context, the first time Cat suggested Kevin might have done some shady stuff for fame was back in the early 2000s. This was when people started talking about how black male entertainers get pushed to put on a dress as some weird rite of passage before they can hit that next level of fame. Dave Chappelle was very vocal about this, and back in 2006, he appeared on Oprah's show and recalled one incident when he was asked to wear a dress for a movie he was doing with Martin Lawrence. Dave said no, but the producers kept pushing and telling him all the greats had done it before.
This happened to me. I'm doing a movie with Martin. Yeah. The movie's going good.
I just want to pause it right then. Dave Chappelle, when he was on Oprah's show, his whole interaction with wearing a dress came through Martin Lawrence. Go back and listen to the Shannon Sharpe, Cat Williams interview. Cat Williams' interaction with wearing a dress came through Martin Lawrence.
Now, look. Watch this now. Cat said he told them who to go get to put the dress on.
Come on.
Remember that actor?
Yep.
Who played in Big Mama House 2? Now, there's an interview out with that actor recently. And he was saying, he said, man, Cat told him to put it. He was mocking his Cat voice. But he said Cat was telling him not to put that goddamn dress on. And the boy said out his fucking mouth, bro. Ever since I put that dress on my crib, it ain't been the same since then. What's his name? What is it? What's his brother's name? Because he played in Percy Jackson movie. He was the black little unit, whatever the fuck he was. But him, you have to play this. But you have to find that interview because it just came a couple of days ago where he was just saying the fact that he put that dress on and got in that movie with Martin. His whole career was over after that. But continue.
Yes, sir. Oh, and let me just put some respect.
Brandon T. That's his name. Brandon T. Jackson. Yeah, Brandon T. Jackson.
Brandon T. Thank you so much, Heather Bell. You're always writing his act. Thank you, sis. But yeah, he says it in here. Let's go.
So I walk in the trailer. I'm like, man, this must be the wrong trailer because there's a dress in here. They come in. The writer comes in. I think he's the writer. He's like, Dave, listen, we got this hilarious scene where Martin's sneaking out of jail. So he disguises you as a prostitute. And he put this dress on, and what? A prostitute? Nah, I'm not doing that. I don't feel comfortable with that. That should have been in the discussion. What? You don't feel comfortable with it? I mean, it's a hilarious bit. All the greats have done it.
What's crazier is that they had a backup plan in case they couldn't break him. According to Dave, they had two versions of the scene, one with him in a dress and one without.
But the minute it was clear, I was adamant. I'm not wearing a dress. I'm not wearing the dress. All right, fine. Think of something else. Guy comes back 10 minutes later. The whole new scene. Damn, how did you write the scene so fast?
Dave explained that this whole dress thing is not really about the dress itself being humiliating, and it's more about these celebs getting pushed around and tested to see if they'll blindly follow orders. Now cue Kevin Hart. Back in 2012, he was asked about Dave's claims that black entertainers get pushed into wearing dresses, and he just laughed it off, claiming this never happened to him. And while he didn't flat out say he'd never wear a dress for a role, he claimed he'd never do anything to compromise his brand.
Definitely haven't ran into to put on the dress. I mean, you have to have boundaries. You have to have limits that you refuse to cross.
But less than a year later, Kevin showed up in an SNL sketch in a dress, and fans went wild accusing him of selling out. Now, Kevin wasn't exactly struggling before he did this sketch. However, he wasn't exactly on that top-tier level either, and he was nowhere near headlining stadiums or getting major blockbuster roles. And while some people believe it's all just a coincidence and brush off the dress situation as just another wild conspiracy theory, Cat Williams has a different take. So when they asked Cat about the whole Kevin SNL dress drama, Cat said it's bigger than just Kevin. It's a whole system at play, and Kevin was just taking his turn in it.
At the end of the day, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him. So now I'm saying, why are we picking on poor little Kevin Hart? Because it was his turn next.
Okay. So after this dress controversy went down, Kevin's Hollywood status kept climbing. Cat, on the other hand, kept getting into trouble with the law, and the tabloids were all over it, trying to paint him as this crazy drug addict. But then in 2018, Cat stirred the pot again, and this time he threw some shade at Tiffany Haddish, insinuating that she too is an industry plant. Cat explained there were way more talented black female comedians who never got their shot, and suggested that Tiffany only hit it big because she's playing to the white audience.
She passed 46 female black comedians that I know personally that I put on tour who have a hard time getting a chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A after they headline 7 shows at a club for $2,500 a week.
But people like real, and that's why they like her.
Is that what they like?
They love real.
Because everybody's real then. So don't trip.
No.
Is they so ghetto? When did that become marketable? Knock it off. They like her because she want to sleep with a white man. That's why the only thing she said was, I want to give it to Brad Pitt.
No,
I just want to tap in right there real quick.
Wow.
Not only wearing a dress, but marrying a Caucasian, and this is tinfoil hat. I don't have smoking guns. I don't have evidence. I don't have a PowerPoint, but I do notice there is a trend where if you marry a Tamahu, a Flugelrod, if you marry one of them, it's good for your career. Maybe I'm wrong. But
that's crazy.
I want to, Minister, do you mind if I poll the audience on that one? Listening audience, if you have noticed that marrying a Caucasian person is good for your career, not even acting. Kamala Harris, she did it. Marrying if you've noticed that, press 333. If you have noticed that, hey, one thing that's good for your career is wearing a dress, it'll get you to the next level, but also marrying a Caucasian person will also get you to the next level. If because I don't have a smoking gun to prove that, but if you notice that tend to be the case, hey, if you do this, it'll put them at ease and they'll work with you better. If that's the case, 333. But I don't have any proof of that. That's just something I've noticed. Would you like to add, or should we continue, Minister?
Please continue.
These comments triggered Kevin a lot, so he fired back at Cat on The Breakfast Club, claiming Cat's just bitter he missed out on job opportunities because of his substance issues.
My frustration with Cat Williams comes from, you keep pointing at Hollywood.
Hollywood this, the white man, this, and this. When do you take responsibility for your actions? You became a risk to the studios, which is why the studios stopped with you.
Why was he a risk?
He chose drugs.
Oh.
And then Kevin also claimed that, unlike him, Cat never used his platform to help other comedians.
Cat Williams, have you ever used your platform to bring the people that were under you up? You haven't.
But see, this is just plain wrong because Cat has a documented history of helping his peers. He just doesn't brag about it publicly.
If I could just shout out for Cat Williams. Cat Williams is about to go on tour, and he's going to take Mark Curry with him. Mark Curry, if you don't know who that is, that's the originator who Steve Harvey adopted his style from.
Yep.
I'll leave it at that and continue.
To give you just one example, last August, actress and singer Melba Moore revealed that Cat covered the $75,000 bill for her to receive the Hollywood Walk of Fame star. However, Cat wasn't going to ignore the slander about him being an addict because he's always been firm that weed is his limit when it comes to substances. So to set things straight after Kevin's words, he took to IG Live to call out Kevin.
So while he wasn't there and off making 85 milli, I was over here not making 85 milli. But it's all good. I don't mind $1 million a month and keeping my soul. And as long as Richard Pryor was able to be the king of comedy and a crackhead, they gonna continue to say maybe I am. But again, I urge you, if there's a drug you can do that'll get you Cat Williams level, then you should OD on it tonight.
But in case someone missed the message, Cat just came for Kevin again in his explosive new interview with Sharon Sharp. And this time, he went all in, claiming Kevin is the very definition of an industry plant. Cat claimed that Kevin became successful on the East Coast and was then handed opportunities in Hollywood without having to prove himself there.
In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA and in his first year in LA, he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is? Maybe people don't understand the definitions of these words. He just did his documentary with Chris Rock where he shows you that his whole upbringing in comedy was on the East Coast.
And on the East Coast, Cat Williams is on your asphalt on the West Coast. Patrice O'Neal is on your asphalt on the East Coast. Listen, you can fool all the people some of the time and some of the people all the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time.
Yeah, it was.
So how simultaneously was he here in Los Angeles doing the same thing? It didn't happen. It didn't happen. And I hate to seem like a petty individual for picking apart lies, but Jussie Smollett gonna keep lying until you say we don't believe you.
According to Cat, whether you want to call it Illuminati or some other word, the fact is that there's a club of people who run the business, and you either join the club on their terms or you'll never reach that top level of success.
These people are not powerful. Satan can't create anything. That includes blessings for his people. That's why, you know what the #1 job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is?
What?
Is to act like it didn't happen. It's a cabal. It's a consortium. They rock with who they rock with and they don't with who they don't.
Cat also explained that the difference between him and comedians like Kevin Hart is that he never accepted money to keep silent on certain topics.
I've not taken the shortcuts. I've not been funded. They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about. They tell you that themselves.
And then Cat claimed that multiple roles were taken from him and given to Kevin just because he asked to have some scenes removed, specifically scenes that were overtly gay.
For a 5-year period, every single movie that Kevin Hart did was a movie that had been on my desk, that all I had said was, just, can we take some of this step and fetch it out?
Minister, could I chime in right there? Because the video's almost over.
Yeah, for sure.
He said, can we take some of, because they were talking about the gay stuff and the compromising integrity and the homosexual stuff. He says, can you take the step and fetch stuff out? I wanted to ask the listening audience, if you do not know who step and fetch is, we already did 333. Press 555. If you do not know who step and fetch is, press 555. He said, can we take the step and fetch out? If you don't know what he meant when he said that, press 555. Because a lot of you have been talking about Flip Wilson as the originator. It was not Flip Wilson. It was Step and Fetch who started all of this. The compromising integrity, the wearing a dress, and all this other stuff. I also wanted to ask you yourself, Minister, are you familiar with Step and Fetch?
Absolutely.
Okay.
If you go to Step and Fetch, then you got to go on to the minstrel shows.
Teach. And respectfully, a lot of people may not know because it was just so long ago. When you talk about minstrel shows, that's a long time ago. Flip Wilson, some of us may still be alive who remember that, but Step and Fetch was before a lot of us. So this is the first guy wearing dresses, compromising his integrity, doing all this goofy stuff. I can't find a picture of him wearing a dress, but he had dresses on, and all types of just compromising your integrity type of stuff. I'll read a quick 1-paragraph blurb. Better known by stage name Step and Fetch, was an American comedian and film actor of Jamaican and Bahamian descent, considered to be the first Black actor to have a successful film career. They marked every single comedian after this guy, and he had to do a lot of stuff. I'm almost sure that he is not booty a virgin. His booty's not a virgin. Everything that they're doing now started with him. His highest profile was during the 1930s. This is the minstrel show, as the minister said, in films and on stage. When his persona of Step and Fetch was billed as the laziest man in the world. He has the slick back, talk like he's retarded. I think he had like a high profile education, but talk like he was stupid. Whatever you wanted him to do, he was going to do. So that's what that's what Cat said when that's what Cat meant when he said, "Can we take the Step and Fetch out of it?"
Yep.
Would you like to say anything, or shall I continue?
So there's also a part what Cat had said. Got to back it up a little bit. An interview on the point out as well. What's the interview real quick?
Then I can do it. Like, it don't need to be overtly home.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me pull it back just a little bit more. All right, let me pull it back just a little bit more. All right, let's see what he says. Right,
the message, Kat just came for Kevin again in his explosive new interview with Sharon Sharp, and this time he went all in, claiming Kevin is the very definition of an industry plant. Kat claimed that Kevin became successful on the East Coast and was then handed opportunities in Hollywood without having to prove himself there.
In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA and in his first year in LA, he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is? Maybe people don't understand the definitions of these words. He just did his documentary with Chris Rock where he shows you that his whole upbringing in comedy was on the East Coast.
Yeah, it was.
So how simultaneously was he here in Los Angeles doing the same thing? It didn't happen. It didn't happen. And I hate to seem like a petty individual for picking apart lies, but Jussie Smollett gonna keep lying until you say we don't believe you.
According to Kat, whether you want to call it Illuminati or some other word, the fact is that there's a club of people who run the business, and you either join the club on their terms or you'll never reach that top level of success.
These people are not powerful. Satan can't create anything. That includes blessings for his people. That's why, you know what the number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is? Just to act like it didn't happen. It's a cabal. It's a consortium. They rock with who they rock with, and they don't with who they don't.
Kat also explained that
Stop
the
right
difference
there.
between him.
Now, do y'all remember when Monique was telling y'all about the gatekeepers like Oprah,
Come on.
Tyler Perry, and what's the other motherfucker name?
Lee Daniels.
Lee Daniels are the gatekeepers, and Po Monique, and what they'll do, they'll make it like you crazy. They made Dave Chappelle like he was crazy telling the truth. They made Jim Carrey look crazy telling the truth. They made Cat Williams. They made Monique look crazy for trying to boycott Netflix. She was like, "Bitch, I've been doing comedy longer than Amy Schumer, but Amy Schumer is a Kevin Hart. These are plants. This shit now is based off of popularity. Popularity. And that's why Shannon asked Kat, what about the new comedians? Kat said, like all of them. All of them. Desi Banks, all of them. Now, the fact that Desi Banks and other comedians are on social media going crazy, they now got to bring their ass to the stage. And you got to do stand-up. And you got to write fucking jokes. And you got to keep people's attention. And so on and so forth. It ain't no 30-second clip on Instagram no more. So Kat is simply saying that, and it's kind of way I ended with this. It's kind of how I feel as a chef. I done took the time to go to culinary school. I done worked at several establishments in several different roles in my profession. And here come a fucking TikTok motherfucker throwing on a chef jacket, putting cheese on macaroni, and he's a chef. Voila. I feel the exact same way I feel where Kat coming from. That's all I'm gonna say. Because in the culinary industry, the culinary world that I know myself, there's a couple Kevin Harts in this fucking industry. For sure.
Totally agree.
They don't want you to talk about. They tell you that themselves.
And then Kat claimed that multiple
Stop
roles
right
were
there.
taken from him.
That's it right there. Now, do y'all remember what Kat just said? They don't want y'all to talk. They'll pay you not to talk about certain stuff. Do y'all remember when Kevin Hart just got in trouble maybe a year or two ago for tweeting about some LGBT comment, and they about to cancel his ass? He had to go on an apology tour. Go ahead.
Let me just pull something up because you're making me think now.
Well, Noble Drew Ali said, if I can just get you to think.
Teach.
You're not a block of wood.
Check this out. Did you know Kevin Hart got into a car crash?
Yeah, definitely put his clone out there. Well, okay, but yeah.
This dude said, this is what he said. This is not tinfoilhat.com. He said Kevin Hart feels resurrected after the old version of him died in the car crash. He said that he felt like the old version of what do you mean the old version of you? You died in a car crash. So who is this guy? I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just all over the place, but it's just tripping me out. Like it's almost as if they're trying to tell us, hey, these people, they cloned Tyrone Hart.
You ain't got to go there. You ain't got to go there. Just the fact of what they just did to Jamie Foxx. Right. Then the movie comes out the next fucking week. Like, whoa, wait a minute. But it's strange to me, and I was wondering, like, these white people ain't spending no fucking millions of dollars cloning no niggas. Gucci Man, who the fuck want to clone Gucci Man for what purpose? What the purpose of that? The fuck? Just make another rapper. You know what I'm saying? They
Right.
cloning they cloning Kevin Hart. Like, what the fuck? For what? Until I seen that fucking movie, I'm like, oh shit, they already cloned them. They got refrigerators of bodies of these motherfuckers. And just like the guy they cloned Tyrone was explaining, they plant niggas in certain situations to perpetuate to keep shit going. So it's Kevin Hart a plant. The way Cat Williams just broke that shit down, and when you look at the receipts prior to Kevin Hart just blowing up like that, you've never heard of Kevin Hart touring, selling out nowhere, nothing. Like a Dave Chappelle or like a Martin Lawrence.
Right.
Or Eddie Murphy or Richard Pryor. You never heard of a nigga doing anything like that because he never did it.
Right.
So, I mean, and the crazy thing about it, everybody done clap back supposedly at Cat, but nobody's denying it or correcting it for the record. They're only just like, oh, yeah, man, he's tripping. No, nigga, talk about what he talked about. Like, tell us the truth behind it. And nobody spoke on it yet because Cat was telling the truth the whole time. Cat's out the bag.
Right. I think we got like 30 seconds.
Been to Kevin just because he asked to have some scenes removed, specifically scenes that were overtly gay.
For a 5-year period, every single movie that Kevin Hart did was a movie that had been on my desk. That all I had said was, just can we take some of this step and fetch it out? And then I can do it. Like, it don't need to be overtly homosexual because I'm not homosexual, right? It doesn't need that to be funny, right? And me saying that and them going, oh yeah, no problem. And then going to give it to this other guy and having him do it just like it was. And acting like I'm a bad person because I keep standing on my standard.
As you can imagine, fans are now rallying behind Cat and praising him for exposing how the industry really works. As for Kevin, he's getting dragged for trying to paint Cat as bitter and problematic in that Breakfast Club interview, when he's the one who has a ton of personal issues he needs to address. One fan said, given how Kevin had 2 DUIs and effed up his marriages with cheating, plus everything Tiffany Haddish had going on, this interview did not age well since he called Cat Williams bitter. And another person wrote, it's crazy watching this because Kevin Hart literally cheated on his wives throughout both of his marriages.
That person, look at the name, Native Niggasippian. That's neither here nor there, sorry.
Built a substantial audience off of jokes about his own son having a developmental disability and just generally isn't anything more than a minuscule half-baked jester at best. But let's hear your thoughts on everything.
And the minister said this earlier. I just want to show I can't play the video. My YouTube channel has gotten a strike. I'll be down for 7 days because I played the full video of this. I'm not going to play it because I don't want to get the minister in trouble, obviously. But there's a picture. There's a video from Hollywood Husbands. It's 10 years ago. Kevin Hart had a TV show called Hollywood Husbands or something like that.
The real Hollywood, the Real Husbands of Hollywood.
Thank you. Real Hollywood, Real Husbands of Hollywood, and one of the promotional commercials was where Shaq gets behind him and gives him a couple stiff back shots.
Man,
right.
That's nuts. I'll also keep in mind, in the Real Husbands of Hollywood, your boy Dwayne Martin was in there too. But go ahead though.
Kevin also, now we already know, Kevin's type. Kevin likes big. Kevin likes it big. Go ask The Rock. Go ask, I think this guy name is Anthony something. I forgot his name, but go ask Anthony, whoever he is. Kevin.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro.
You can't make this up. You can't. But with that said, Minister, those are all the receipts that I have.
Yes, sir.
We're flirting with 2 hours. I'll let you close out, please.
Yes, sir. Hey, man. As always, they going Anthony Anderson. They going in the comments. They going in. As always, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in, tapping in with us, man. Hey, man. Look, share this, man. Share it. get this information out before they start shutting everything down. If you guys have not seen the Netflix movie, what's the name of it? I forgot the name of the Netflix movie, but go check out the Netflix joint. Get ready, man. Some shit coming. It's happening. The aliens are out here. It's happening. It's going down, man. Only on Crumb TV, M.O.I. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'm out.